Hi, super readers and writers. We have a lot of work to do today. So let's warm up by reading some of our sight words, those words that we know in a snap. Can, C-A-N, can. See, S-E-E, see. I, it's just an I. Me, M-E, me. We, W-E, we. The, T-H-E, the. A, it's just an A. Like, L-I-K-E, like. To, T-O, to. And, A-N-D, and. Okay, we read them and we spelled them, but do we really remember them that well? Let's try it with a whisper voice. Can, C-A-N, can. See, S-E-E, see. I, it's just an I. Me, M-E, me. We, W-E, we. The, T-H-E, the. A, it's just an A. Like, L-I-K-E, like. To, T-O, to. And, A-N-D, and. Okay, we just whispered them like they were a secret, but maybe now we can shout them like we're really proud. Can, C-A-N, can. See, S-E-E, see. I, it's just an I. Me, M-E, me. We, W-E, we. The, T-H-E, the. A, just an A. Like, L-I-K-E, like. To, T-O, to. And, A-N-D, and. Okay, I'm so glad that we got to warm up by reading some of our sight words, the words that we know how to read and write in a snap, because we have a lot more work to do, super readers and writers. Today, we are going to look at some rhyming words. I want to teach you that as we become more super readers and writers, we'll learn that rhyming words aren't just fun words that belong in songs and poems and stories. They're an important part of spelling and writing words. We can use rhyming words to help us spell, read, and write new words. These are the two very special words that we're going to get to rhyme with today. At and in. If we're going to be rhyming with these words, then we should really study them to get to know them. So let's study the word at first. First, let's read it. At. Now, let's study it. I see a small a. It just goes to the dotted line. And a tall T. It goes all the way up to the top line. There's one small letter and one tall letter. Let's spell the word A-T, at. Spell it with me. A-T, at. Now we get to write the word at. The word at starts with a small a. Small a goes around and down. And then it's a tall T that goes straight down and across through it. At. Our next step is to use the word. We get to use at in a sentence. I play at the park. Now let's study our next word that we're going to use to rhyme, in. Step 1 is to read it. In. Step 2 is to study it. I see a small I and a small in. All of the letters in the word in are small. The next step is to spell it. Spell it with me. I-N, in. One more time. I-N, in. The next step is to write it. We get to write the word in. We said the word in has all small letters, so they're all going to stay under the dotted line. I goes down, little dot. In goes down, little bump. In. Step 5 is to use it in a sentence. I live in Kona. I'm so glad we got to study these two very special words, at and in. Now we get to see why they're so special. These words rhyme with a lot of other words, like the word at. Can we think of some words that rhyme with at? Hat, bat, cat, rat. What about the word in? Can we think of some words that rhyme with the word in? Bin, pin, tin. those rhyme with in. These are very special words because when we know how to read these, we know how to read other words that rhyme with them. Like how the word at rhymes with the word sat. I already knew how to read at. So when I added the S to the beginning, it was even easier. I already knew how it was going to end. Sat rhymes with at. Let's put it under at so we know that they rhyme. Let's look at another word. Let's stretch the sounds so we can read the word. B, I, N. Let's put it together slowly. Bin. This is the word bin. Does bin rhyme with at or in? In. They sound the same at the end. Bin, in. And they look the same at the end. Bin, in. The only difference is that there's an extra letter at the beginning. In, bin. Let's look at another word. I can already tell which word this one's going to rhyme with. What do you think? At or in? Look at the ending. Does it look more like at or in? Let's stretch the sounds. At, hat. This is the word hat. Does hat rhyme with in or at? At. They have the same ending. At, and they look the same. Hat rhymes with sat and at. Can you already tell which word this one's going to rhyme with? Let's stretch the sounds to check. P, at, pat. This is the word pat. Does pat look like it rhymes with at or in? It sounds like it rhymes with at, and it looks like it rhymes with at. Pat, at. Which word do you think this word will rhyme with? In or at? Let's stretch the sounds. W, I, n. Win. This is the word win. Win rhymes with in. They look the same at the end. They all end with I-N. That says in. Let's look at the next word. Let's stretch the sounds. T, I, n. Tin. This is the word tin. Listen to it. Does tin rhyme with at or in? In, tin, in. Let's look at this word. Let's stretch it. K, at. Now let's say it slowly. Cat. This is the word cat. Will cat rhyme with in or at? At. I can tell they all have the same at ending. Let's look at one more rhyming word. Let's say the sounds and then say them slowly. F, I, n. Fin. This is the word fin. Does fin look and sound like it's going to rhyme with in or at? In, fin. Now let's read all of these great rhyming words that we just found. Let's read the words that rhyme with at. All of these words end with A-T, 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 A-T. They all end with the at sound. At, sat, hat, pat, cat. All of those words rhyme because the ending sounds the same and it looks the same. We only changed the first sound. Like how in sat, the first sound is s. In hat, the first sound is h. In pat, the first sound is p. In cat, the first sound is k. And they all end with at. Now let's read our in rhyming words. In, bin, win, tin, fin. All of these words end with I-N, 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 I-N. That sounds like in. All of these words rhyme with in because they all end with in. They all look, they all have the same ending, and they all sound the same at the end. The only difference is the first sound. This is the word in. This is the word bin. The first sound in bin is b. The first sound in win is w. The first sound in tin is t. The first sound in fin is f, and they all end with in. I wrote the word sat, but I'm thinking of a rhyming word for it. I want it to say cat. Cat rhymes with sat. What do I need to change to make this say cat instead of sat? I know. I changed the first sound. I changed the s to a k. Before it said sat. Now it says k, cat. Now I want to change this to be the rhyming word bat. What do I need to change to make this say bat? I know. Now it says bat. Before it said k, cat. But I changed the k to a b. Now it says bat. But I really want it to say sat. What should I change to make this say sat? I know. I changed the b to a s. Now instead of bat, this says sat. It's time for Fast Phonics. Let's read our vowel names and sounds and then read and spell our sight words. Those words we know in a snap. A, apple. E, egg. I, igloo. O, octopus. U, umbrella. Now let's read our sight words. I, it's just spelled with an I. Can. C-A-N, can. The. T-H-E, the. C. S-E-E-C. We. W-E, we. Me. M-E, me. A. It's just spelled with an A, just like I. Like. L-I-K-E, like. Two. T-O-2. Now we can look at our letter in our word that we'll be studying again today. We're still looking at the letter N. That's the nest card. It has the N on it that makes the N sound like we hear at the beginning of nest. I will write an uppercase and lowercase n because it stands for the sound that we hear at the beginning of nest. Uppercase N has only straight lines and it's tall. We start at the top. We go down and then slant down, straight up. Lowercase n is small. It has a straight line and a curved line. We go down, little bump. Now we can read some words that have the n sound that n makes. This is the letter N. It says n like nest. This is the letter A. It says a like apple. This is the letter P. It says p like pig. Let's read the sounds. N, a, p. Now let's say them slowly. Nap. This is the word nap. This is the letter T. It says t like turtle. This is the letter I. It says I like igloo. This is the letter N. It says n like nest. Let's read the sounds. T, I, n. Now let's say it slowly. Tin. This is the word tin. This is the letter P. It says p like pig. This is the letter A. It says a like apple. This is the letter N. It says n like nest. Let's read the sounds. P, a, n. Now let's read it slowly to hear the word. Pan. This is the word pan. This is the letter T. It says t like turtle. This is the letter A. It says a like apple. This is the letter N. It says n like nest. Let's read the sounds. T, a, n. Now let's say it slowly. Tan. This is the word tan. This is the letter M. It says like monkey. This is the letter A. It says a like apple. This is the letter N. It says n like nest. Let's read the sounds. N, a, n. Now let's put it together slowly. Man. This is the word man. Man rhymes with the other words that we just spelled. Pan, tan, man. They all end with an. This is the word and. Remember, and is the word we use when we're talking about more than one thing. Let's read it. And. Let's spell it. A-N-D, and. Let's spell it one more time. A-N-D, and. Now let's write the word and. We're going to start with the small a. Small a goes around and down. Lowercase a is small. Then the lowercase n, it's also small. We go down, little bump. And now our lowercase d. Our lowercase d is tall. We go around, straight up and down. And getting experts with the word and. Soon we're going to know it in a snap and be able to read it and write it whenever we want. So let's see if we can read it in some sentences to make sure we really know it. I like pizza and soup. Read it with me. I like pizza and soup. I like bananas and celery. Read it with me. I like bananas and celery. We can read and write. Read it with me. We can read and write. We can draw and color. Read it with me. We can draw and color. Today we learned that rhyming words aren't just fun in songs and books and poems. We can also use them to help us be super readers and writers. Like how we sorted these rhyming words. These at words all end with at. These in words all end with the sound in.